She stood beside him when Hulkamania was born. She was there when the crowd roared and the cameras rolled. But behind the spotlight, their story was falling apart. Who was Hulk Hogan's wife? Why did their picture-perfect marriage end in a public disaster? And what shocking truths were exposed during the divorce? This is the emotional, dramatic, and sometimes heartbreaking story of Linda Hogan. Her name was Linda Claridge, a stunning beauty from California with a warm smile and classic charm. In the 1980s, she met a rising star in the world of professional wrestling, Terry Bollea, better known to the world as Hulk Hogan. At the time, Hogan's career was exploding. He was headlining arenas, dominating television, and becoming a household name. And in 1983, they tied the knot. For years, they looked like the perfect couple, strong, glamorous, and unstoppable. Together, they built a life of luxury, fame, fortune, mansions, exotic cars, and most importantly, 2 children, Brooke and Nick Hogan. Their family quickly became part of the spotlight. They were more than just a celebrity couple. They were America's wrestling royalty. In the mid-2000s, they let fans into their private world through the hit reality show Hogan Knows Best. Viewers saw the laughter, the love, the challenges, and the unique dynamic of a family built around a wrestling icon. For a while, it looked like a fairy tale. The hero of the ring had found his queen, and together, they ruled a world of glitz, gold, and glory. But behind the scenes, everything wasn't as perfect as it seemed. The cameras showed a glamorous family, a happy home, a powerful couple. But off-camera, cracks were beginning to show. As Hulk Hogan's fame soared, the world tours, the spotlight, the pressure, so did the distance between him and Linda. What once felt like a strong bond began to unravel. Linda later opened up about their struggles. She claimed that Hogan had a controlling personality, and that their marriage lacked emotional connection. They may have had wealth and fame, but something deeper was missing. The signs were there. The tension grew. And eventually, rumors of infidelity began to swirl. Then, years later, the rumors exploded into headlines. A shocking tape leaked online, showing Hogan involved in an affair with the wife of his best friend, Bubba the Love Sponge. The footage made international news. It was embarrassing, scandalous, and deeply personal. Technically, the affair happened after Hulk and Linda had separated. But to Linda, it wasn't just about the act. It was about everything that had already happened. She revealed she had long suspected cheating during their marriage. The trust, she said, was broken long before that tape ever came out. The leak only confirmed what she had felt for years, that their marriage had been fading quietly while the world still saw them as a perfect pair. In public, they were wrestling royalty. In private, they were slowly falling apart. And no reality show could fix that. In 2007, Linda filed for divorce after 24 years of marriage. The media went wild. What followed was one of the messiest and most public celebrity divorces in wrestling history. She accused Hogan of cheating, verbal abuse, and financial control. Hogan denied the accusations, calling them exaggerated and hurtful. But the financial battle got uglier. Linda demanded 70% of the assets. She ended up receiving 70% of their liquid assets, several cars, and half of Hogan's fortune. Hulk later admitted the divorce nearly bankrupted him. He said he was suicidal and had to rebuild everything from scratch. But just when the world thought they'd seen it all, another shockwave hit the Hogan family. Linda Hogan, then 50 years old, began dating a 19-year-old man, who just happened to be a friend of her son Nick. The public was stunned. The tabloids exploded. Social media lit up. And the headlines didn't hold back. Critics called it inappropriate. Fans were outraged, some even calling it a betrayal of trust. Even Hulk Hogan himself spoke out, calling the situation humiliating and painful. The controversy wasn't just about age. It was about proximity. A mother dating someone from her own son's circle. It blurred personal boundaries, and it got messy fast. Some pointed out that her boyfriend was younger than her own daughter, Brooke Hogan, adding even more fuel to the fire. But Linda didn't back down. She defended her relationship publicly, saying she was finally living life on her own terms. After years of what she described as emotional repression, she said she felt free and unapologetic about seeking happiness, even if it went against public opinion. It was bold. It was controversial. And it once again thrust the Hogan name into the spotlight, this time for all the wrong reasons. Today, Hulk Hogan has moved on. In 2021, he remarried, this time to Sky Daily, a yoga instructor. The ceremony was private, simple, and a far cry from the spotlight-filled days of Hogan's past. Now in his older years, Hogan is living a quieter life in Florida, away from the ring, the cameras, and the chaos. He occasionally appears at events, but for the most part, he's embracing peace, reflection, and health. As for Linda Hogan, she's kept a relatively low profile in recent years. While she still appears in occasional interviews or social media posts, much of her life now is spent looking back, reflecting on the whirlwind of fame, family, and heartbreak. Their children, Brooke and Nick Hogan, have also stepped out of the spotlight. Brooke, once chasing a pop music and reality TV career, has distanced herself from the public eye. Nick, after his highly publicized legal troubles, has kept a quiet and private life. Fame once made them America's wrestling family. But today, they live in different corners, each carrying their own version of the legacy and the scars that came with it. The cameras have faded, the headlines have slowed, and what remains is a family that once lived under the brightest lights, now choosing peace over publicity. The story of Hulk and Linda Hogan isn't just about wrestling, money, or fame. It's a tale of love, pressure, and heartbreak. A relationship that began in the golden era of wrestling, filled with passion, power, and the promise of forever. But as the cameras rolled and the fame grew louder, the cracks behind the scenes began to deepen. Their story reminds us of a hard truth. Even the strongest-looking marriages can crumble under pressure, and no amount of success, not even global fame, can protect you from private pain. Because behind the wrestling belts, behind the TV show, behind the spotlight, was a real couple trying to hold it all together. They laughed, they loved, they built an empire. But in the end, they went their separate ways. Two people, one side by side in front of the world, eventually learning how to live apart, quietly, separately, and on their own terms. It wasn't a perfect story, but it was real. And sometimes, real is more powerful than perfect. If this story surprised you, hit like and subscribe for more untold stories from the world of fame and wrestling. And let us know, do you think Linda was right? Or was Hogan the real victim? Tell us in the comments.